Hey guys, today we're going to look at Madonna. I believe that this is an Illuminati tranny. Show you some reasons why I believe so. There is a female on the left and a male on the right. Females have wider hips and the most narrow part of the waist occurs above the belly button. Men still have hips, but they come to an end below the belly button, well below in fact. And there's an indent on the sides that a woman just does not have. Again, you can see the difference between the male and female hips. Women have wider hips. The skeletal structure of a man and women are different. You see the one in the middle on top is a female pelvis. Below that's a male pelvis. The female pelvis allows for childbirth, while the male pelvis does not. Again, the skeletal structure of a female and a male. Females have wider hips. You can see there a young Madonna with a male pelvis. Young Madonna with a male pelvis and male hips, straight up and down. She's trying to bend and curve her body to deceive us. There it is again. You see, she does not have the wide hips of a female. I'm not saying all women have to have a perfect hourglass figure. I'm just saying all genetically born females should have childbearing hips. They should not have male hips. There she is again. See, she's curving the back to give the appearance. You can see the hips end below the belly button. And see her shoulders are quite wide. Narrow hips. She's curving her back, and her fake breasts give her the appearance of being a female. See, the hips actually end below the belly button there. She's trying to deceive us by curving around. You can see that. There, she does not have the female curves. Shoulders, while not extremely wide per se, are indeed wider than the hips. Especially in a white girl, that's a very uncommon trait. See the shoulders again. You can see the straight up and down torso, the waist. Those hips should be wider and they should be curving in above the belly button. That is a straight up and down torso of a man. There it is again. You can see even the male indent below the belly button on the sides, where the hips on a man, like myself, end. If you're a man, you're going to have this little indent thing. You may not have even noticed it before. A bit of a love handle thing, that's what men have as well, but that's a male feature. There it is again. You can see it even more clearly there. The hips and the torso and the waist of a man. All right, now we're going to look at the hands and the fingers especially. It's called a 2D/4D ratio. We're going to look at the length of the index finger, the pointer finger, compared to the ring finger. Okay, so on the left, males tend to have a longer ring finger due to the higher amounts of testosterone. It's color-coded there. Don't worry too much about that. Some people are more in the middle like that, and females tend to have a longer pointer finger, index finger. Men on the left with the long ring finger, longer than the index finger, vice versa on the female. Their index finger is longer than the ring finger. You can see clearly right there. Now there's some exceptions, and some people are about the same, and you do have to measure carefully at times. It can look different depending on the angle of the hand, but that looks to be right there a pretty straight shot of the hand of Madonna. Clearly has the hand of a man, somebody with a lot of testosterone. Long ring finger, longer than the index finger. Again, right there. You think they'd be able to change that surgically, and they would be, but it would be a bit difficult. They don't seem to do a lot of surgery. They maybe do some photoshopping, and some people even try to avoid photographs of their hand completely to hide that. Remember, this is all about deception. Now, let's look at the muscles. Madonna is a muscular person, relatively, especially for a woman. Male muscles have more fibers, resulting in total greater muscle mass, whereas females, they'll have muscles, but they won't have the overall mass. Madonna appears to have the muscles of a man. Now, I don't know what else she's doing to get these weird veins and things like that. And look at her legs as well. You know, she does not have the cellulite of a woman. She doesn't have kind of fatty legs like most women have. She doesn't have any body fat at all, in fact, it looks to me. Most women have a higher percentage of body fat. Even if they're in good shape, they're thin, they're in good shape, they exercise, they will still have higher percentage of body fat than a man. See there the muscles, the wide shoulders. I don't know too many real women that look like that. In fact, I don't know any women that look like that, really. Now, again, look at the shoulders. 3 head lengths, 3 head widths on the shoulders of a man, roughly, okay? There's always going to be exceptions, but this is just a general rule. Females, about 2.5 or so, 2.5. Women have a smaller rib cage. Their collarbones are also shorter, so they don't have the broad, square shoulders men have. Okay, so there's another trait to look for. Ask yourself, are those wide shoulders or narrow shoulders? Are the shoulders wider than the hips? When transgendered people wear clothes, they can often use padding and other means of deception to appear to have female hips. That's why I showed you at the beginning of the video her actual hips without the padding. There you can see the muscles again. And the hands look rather large in general. There's the wide shoulders and the muscles once again. And we're going to also look at the skull. In fact, these two people right here have very similar skulls. That probably is a real man. There's the skull, male on the left, wider, bigger, female, smaller, more narrow. Look at the jaw especially. Rounded jaw, oval-shaped jaw on the female, male, more square in general, okay? And you can see men have a brow ridge, more prominent brow ridge above the eyes. There's kind of a bump type of deal. So you can see this person here has the face of a woman, but yet I believe there's an underlying skull of a man. So there's makeup, but look at the hairy arms. Look at the large hands compared to the face. So I believe Madonna has had surgery done on the face, on the nose especially. Women tend to have smaller noses than men due to the smaller skull. But still, there's an underlying shape of a square masculine jaw. In my daily life, I never confuse a real woman with being a tranny. Okay, it just doesn't happen. You can tell. Right? When you meet somebody for the first time, do you need to prove their gender? Do you need to analyze it? Do you need to transvestigate everyone you meet? No, you just know if it's a man or a woman, right? And this thing just doesn't seem like a woman to me, all right? You can see the brow ridge there. They try to cover it up with makeup. Now, she's done something strange to her teeth. Now, here's the Illuminati aspect of it. There she is mimicking the Baphomet. Baphomet is basically one of the deities that the Freemasons worship. The Freemasons worship the gods of Egypt, who are basically the fallen angels. You see the pentagram on top. You see that the Baphomet is a tranny, has boobs. It's a man with boobs. All right. There she is doing the one eye, the all-seeing eye of Horus, part of the religions of Egypt, the gods of Egypt. There she is doing another Illuminati sign, the 666, as they like to do. Especially when they're playing live, they like to just flash these hand signs. You see people like Beyonce doing that as well. And doing both the Eye of Horus and the 666 sign with both hands. So all kinds of things going on there. And Madonna is known to be involved with the Kabbalah, which is basically Freemasonry, more or less. Illuminati is basically Freemasonry, worshiping the fallen angels. That's basically all it is, simplified. There's all kinds of secret societies and things like that. Very complicated hierarchy, and we don't know everything about it because it's secret, as John Kerry once told us. The all-seeing eye on top of the pyramid. She is not a secular artist. She is a religious artist. What's her religion? Freemasonry. What's that? Worshipping Satan and the fallen angels to establish their kingdom on earth. How many symbols can you do in one photo? Quite a few, it seems. This is all secret. She's an Illuminati tranny, a demonically possessed transgendered entity.